What a goal.
We know what Barcelona are. We know what this Hansi Flick team are.
I think Arbeloa's, through his task or through his...
Arbeloa going to be able to make a difference? Are these players, some of them, not all by the way, are some of them going to change? Are some of them going to listen? Are some of them going to grow up? Arbeloa going to get that tune out of this team and everybody's on harmony? Or are we going to sit and watch them every weekend and go, this is just the same? Yeah. This is the same. They'll press when they want to press, they'll run about when they want to run about, and they'll try and flick a switch and turn it on.
Aquí en este club empatar ya es malo, es una tragedia. Imagínate pues una derrota como estas, pues es dolorosa y estoy seguro que todos nuestros aficionados lo están y bueno, más cuando lo haces con un equipo de una categoría inferior, aunque aquí ya sabemos la dificultad que te propone cualquier equipo, lo vimos también el día del Talavera, cómo se dio el partido y evidentemente, bueno, pues a partir de aquí hay que mejorar, ¿no? Si alguien es el responsable y el culpable de esta victoria, evidentemente soy yo, que soy el que he tomado las decisiones en cuanto a la alineación.
So, yeah, Arbeloa's got it wrong.
I was crapping my pants the full game thinking, oh my gosh.
You can blame Arbeloa in terms of, like I say, the selection of the squad, the selection of the team.
Losing, of course, to Barcelona in the Supercopa and now to Albacete. Much lower opposition in the Copa del Rey.
Luis, why are you smiling so much? What's up with you? Have you heard a funny joke?
I mean, Barcelona are trending in the right direction. That's 11 consecutive victories for Barcelona, the first time since 2015, across all competitions. That is incredible.
This is a disaster for Real Madrid, Alex.
Front pages, of course, all the sports newspapers dominated by Real Madrid's exit from the Copa del Rey. Total debacle. Life stays the same or worse. Knocked out. Dreadful embarrassment. No Supercopa, no cup for Real Madrid.
Barca did take it seriously.
I think that at this stage, the players has been spoiled. I think they have the thought that because they've been winning without delivering good football, that was going to be the normal thing. We are Real Madrid, we are right there, and with this, and this, it's going to be enough to win.
But Barca have got a young group of players who have all come through La Masia, and I think it's like 17 players or something like that who have come through the academy. That's insane.
Yeah, it's the worst possible start for Arbeloa, this defeat.
It's surprising. I mean, I'm not happy when I'm not sad anyway when Real Madrid doesn't win, but definitely I'm surprised.
Barcelona find a way to win. Ugly game. Probably the worst game I've seen from Barcelona this season, but they won. They won. And that's all anyone's going to talk about when they're in the Copa del Rey final if they make it there. All they're going to talk about is that they won.
Did you think the videos about Real Madrid's nightmare were over? No, we're still celebrating Real Madrid's very satisfying downfall.
Individual va a buscar el disparo.
Barcelona has rented a luxury triplex inside the heads of Madrid fans after deepening their disastrous crisis. Hansi Flick arrived, and 2 Madrid coaches have already been sacked, while the third has started taking all the blame and apologising. Arbeloa's heart is racing when he lies in bed and thinks, my God, what if I stay in the job until the second match against Hansi Flick's Barcelona? I don't want to go down in Flick's statistics for conceding more than 5 goals. I hope I'm not here by then, otherwise I'll resign. It's terrifying to think about. And honestly, what Flick does with his team is terrifying. We signed Joan Garcia because we wanted a goalkeeper for the present and the future, especially after Ter Stegen's injuries. But his composure is surprising. The way he handled the match against Espanyol, how he behaves as a person and as a player, we've seen that since he arrived here. He's adapted very well to the locker room and is very well liked. We're happy with how quickly he's adapted, said Deco. Joan is the number 1 and that's why he'll play. It's an important match, Hansi Flick told Movistar. It seems Flick had a feeling Joan Garcia would do something special, and he was right. Garcia saved Barca from extra time and the danger of a possible elimination. He made a spectacular save on a shot by Manix Lozano 1 minute into stoppage time, with the score at 0-1. In the very next play, Lamine made it 0-2 with an assist from the Super Rafinha. But the key moment of the match was Joan Garcia's incredible save, adding to his impressive collection of crucial interventions this season. In the 66th minute, a well-worked counter-attack with an assist from Dani Olmo ended with Ferran Torres dribbling past the goalkeeper to open the scoring. While Madrid underestimated second division teams, Hansi Flick did not. He won the match with a title-focused mentality, while Real Madrid were defeated 3-2 by a second division team sitting in just 17th place. The result was so shocking that the club became a global laughingstock. Now Craig has exploded and exposed what's going on behind the scenes at Real Madrid. No one is safe. In addition, in this video you'll see the reaction of the Spanish media, which is tearing apart Mbappe's and Vinicius Jr.'s Real Madrid. Real Madrid are very bad.
No real clear idea of how they want to play, difficulty creating chances, dodgy at the back as well.
Because this is the bench that was available to Real Madrid today. Tonight was the most important game. And tonight, they failed. So the first impression that we get from Arbeloa is a failure. And it's a massive failure. Real Madrid fans and supporters may say, well, it's only Copa del Rey. Well, I can tell you the same thing. It's only Albacete. And you lost to Albacete. It's a failure for Arbeloa. It's a failure for this club. How you manufacture momentum, positive momentum going forward, is by winning. He said that failure, the road to victory, or something like failures lead to victories. No, about victories lead to victories. About you win. Don't get philosophical on me. Don't get philosophical. Win matches, and then we can build momentum going forward.
Would they be okay with being left out of this game?
Well, I hope not. I hope not, but I don't know. Does it hurt? I don't know. And I think there's a question that perhaps the Real Madrid fans are asking themselves. Does it really hurt? Does it hurt that you're out of the Copa del Rey against Albacete? It should. It certainly should, particularly when you lost on the weekend against Barcelona in a final. You would think that the first priority would be, we have to win. We have to win. We have to build momentum. We just lost a trophy. We have to win. And yet that didn't seem to be the case.
Barcelona have been a great talking point. They've had great success under Hansi Flick, but they give us a story every week with this sort of bonkers high line and really entertaining football. And we thought we were going to get some great story, which we have in a negative way with Real Madrid, but we thought we were going to get this, and Sid touched on it yesterday.
It's not a Real Madrid that we enjoy, that we like. It's not a Real Madrid that is composed, not a Real Madrid that is played at something.
Real Madrid is an elite football club, the most successful in the world. I can't think of a bigger dressing room at the moment that needs a bunch of players with the biggest kick up the backside than this dressing room. No dressing room needs more home truths than this one. It doesn't need soft soap, it doesn't need the arm round, it needs some home truths. And we on the show the other day talked about, I think it was us three, talked about leadership within the dressing room and who could provide that. And we talked about people like, the more experienced players like Militao and Rudiger and Thibaut Courtois and maybe one or two others, but Dani Carvajal was the player that I felt isn't big in stature, but should be big for respect, for the kind of player he is, for the career that he's had, for the kind of defender that he is, with the success that has come with his talent. He's a player to me that could stand up in a dressing room, and he was very honest there. He was the one that said no, it's the players. And it's maybe going to take somebody like him to sit the manager to the side and be the voice. And be the voice in that dressing room and go around and talk to some of these players and say, listen, we just, basically, I've got to be better, you've got to be better, this is not good enough. And if they don't want to listen to seasoned pros, some of the best in the business like Dani Carvajal, never mind the new manager, maybe they just don't want to listen. But they are a shambles at the moment. They are an absolute shambles. Yeah, he made some changes, but you mentioned it, 17th. Albacete, I mean, Racing Santander, they're top of Segunda. They're trying to get back into La Liga. They got a big game at the weekend. They're a good side. Albacete are not. And as I mentioned, I looked at their home record, 10 games, 10 points. And that's do the maths, a point a game. I mean, it's dreadful. Real Madrid turn up, they win. Because they're not up for the fight. And you could say in that previous Copa del Rey game against a team that I never remember the name.
The T team.
Yes. The producer told me in my ear about 3 minutes ago. And I've already forgotten. They scratched that one out because they had to play Kylian Mbappe, and Andre Lunin had to make a great save at the end. So I mean, I almost feel for Arbeloa. It's just such a big job that everything he does in the training ground, everything he says in the dressing room, he doesn't know if that, come a Saturday or a Sunday, is just going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And that's when Real Madrid are winning, as they have done many, many times, as you well know, when they're winning, because they're on it, because they've been good. And when they're losing, it's everybody else's fault, including the players. It's not their fault. The manager, the coaches, the tactics. Florentino Perez last year, it's the referees, it's everybody else. But when Real Madrid are winning, because they're great. And when they're losing, there is no mirrors in the Bernabeu. Nobody's looking at any of them. They're all playing the blame game. And they're all happy for managers to be hired and fired as long as they get the big bucks. They're happy. And they'll drag a performance out every now and again. But it's been crystal clear that the bulk of this group of players don't want to listen to change. They want to do it their way or the highway, and that is going to be the big sort of dilemma going forward. Certainly, going to be intriguing for the neutral, watching it every weekend. Again, I go back to the Ancelotti to Alonso transition. We were sitting here intrigued by what we were going to witness, and in the end it was disappointing. And we're back at opening the same door. We know what Barcelona are. We know what this Hansi Flick team are. That is crystal clear. They do it their way, and they have done it pretty well in an 18-month period, 2-year period. This Real Madrid side can only turn this around for themselves. And if they don't turn it around, it's not because of the referees, not because of the officials, it's not because of Javier Tebas or La Liga or anybody else. It's on them. And I hope if they don't turn it around, that this huge crowd at the Bernabeu are not going to turn on the manager, but they're going to turn on these players.
Absolutely.
Because it can't keep, certainly from a Madrid perspective, being the manager.
Gentlemen, Albacete has never beaten Real Madrid in history. Let me remind you why. Do I need to remind you? Because today's the day, gentlemen. Because it is reserved for today. For us, the coach said as he gathered the players. Then they all finished by chanting, 1, 2, 3, victory, victory and victory, and they won. Now Craig is visibly shaken by the situation at his Madrid, which keeps getting worse and worse. But it's not just Craig and his crew who have exploded in anger at the Real Madrid players. They are looking for those responsible, and the first to fall was Xabi Alonso, after the knockout in the Spanish Super Cup final against FC Barcelona. This was a view of Alvaro Benito, former Real Madrid player and now a commentator on El Larguero on Cadena Ser. It's worrying because there are players who are far below what the shirt represents in terms of ambition and talent. The players feel privileged and believe that no obligations can be imposed on them, he said. He also commented that we are certainly facing the worst Real Madrid in many years. It's worrying that the coach says the players gave everything. Because what that means is that if you take the Real Madrid shirt and badge off these players and put them in the shirt of any other team in La Liga Hypermotion, it wouldn't work. That's what's worrying, the lack of quality. If they really had that attitude today, then what's missing is the level. Something we've discussed at length this season. He added that Xabi Alonso's defeat, in terms of a potential dismissal, is a victory for the players, because it has been impossible to impose a style of play. Today we hit rock bottom, he also said. Josep Pedrerol said on El Chiringuito, Real Madrid are in an absolute crisis. The saying new coach guaranteed win has proven to be completely false, and Alvaro Arbeloa, so highly praised by the Madrid press at his first press conference, ended up looking foolish along with his new squad after being eliminated in the round of 16 against Albacete. That's it. A destroyed locker room. And there are no miracles here, my friend. There are no miracles here. Arbeloa, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Today what you already knew was confirmed, because you already knew it. Journalist Manu Carreño said, "This is one of the worst performances by Real Madrid I've seen in many years. On the day of the coaching change, they had just fired. Alonso, a new coach, comes in. It's a do-or-die match to fight for the title, and you don't see the slightest reaction. Not in terms of football, not in terms of intensity. Just another day at the office. If we close our eyes, it could have been a Xabi Alonso match a month ago, or an Ancelotti match last year. There's a problem with the football itself, with the players, with the makeup of the squad, and obviously with the attitude. It's a disaster, and the bleeding doesn't stop. Journalist Manolo Lama said, "They fired Ancelotti because he wasn't good enough. They fired Xabi Alonso because he wasn't good enough. The ones left were the players and the person in the VIP box." Cope radio journalist Ciro Lopez said, "It's a farce, it's ridiculous. Everything that has happened in the past few days. I've been saying this. We've turned Real Madrid into a laughingstock, and that's what annoys me the most. Because of everything that has happened in the past few days, I understand that if I were a Barca or Atletico fan, I'd be laughing a lot at what they're doing," he said. "I love basketball too much, and I'd like to keep commenting. Because if I said what I really think, I probably wouldn't be commenting on Real Madrid TV this Friday." Ciro Lopez indeed comments on Real Madrid's basketball games for Real Madrid TV. "It's the culmination of everything we've been saying. I have to apologise to Ancelotti because I said he was ultimately responsible because of this squad, and that Ancelotti should have done more. But the thing is, with Ancelotti they did what they did. With Xabi Alonso they did what they did. And with Arbeloa, who had no responsibility at all, they kept doing the same thing. Even a commentator close to Real Madrid is afraid to say how much the club is in freefall and how it can now be compared to Manchester United. He knows that if he exposes the whole truth, Florentino Perez might end up firing him. As Craig said, Real Madrid is never responsible for its own failures. The blame is always on Barcelona, the referees who don't cooperate with their manipulations, and the psychological games used to try to gain an advantage over opponents. But today it's clear that the only ones responsible for Madrid's disastrous fall are the players themselves and Florentino Perez." Another person who analysed Madrid's decline was Peja Mijatovic. "In 4 days, Real Madrid lost 2 titles and a coach. This game comes after the Super Cup defeat to their eternal rival. The coach has changed. The players think they're going to play against an inferior team, that they will have the advantage, and that's exactly what happens. In this situation, the only people who can change the course of events are not the coach or the president. It's the players. There's no other way to fix this," he said. He then points to the weak point: there is no leader, according to Peja. "I would feel more at ease if there were a Cruz or a Modric, a Ramos in the locker room. A leader, an old guard, who at some point could grab the young players and try to change the course of things. At the moment, it's a team without a clear leader, regardless of Xabi or Arbeloa's opinions. In every match where Real Madrid gave that impression, I saw the absence of that figure. If they don't find one, we're going to have a lot of problems," he concluded. What do you make of this exposé from the media, which has always loved Real Madrid? Who, after all, is truly to blame for Real Madrid's disastrous decline?